What's good, YouTube? And welcome to the house. I hope you had a great Thanksgiving and a solid Black Friday. I did for the first time in years. So many sales that actually got me excited, like the Crunchyroll 40% off that Sony money, baby. And I even found 80% off beards. Jokes aside, let's go ahead and talk about a lot of cards that were not on my checklist, some of which probably should have been, like Typhon here, now taking the top slot of the 10s. I did think that some estimated value pulled would go to other cards, especially with people not wanting to rip these 10s open, but Typhon, I was one of the people ahead on that ultra rare release. I was not ahead here. This took me by surprise because I was thinking, well, you'd only want maybe one for your extra deck, two max. Oh yeah, this went up towards $25 solid, and when looking at the 10s themselves, it's even past the Blue Eyes for right now. Metagame cards with the 10s, they're usually on top for some time, so it does make sense that something would overtake the Blue Eyes. Chaos Angel was in the back of my head to some degree, but yeah, it is Typhon for now. Destructive Daruma Karma Cannon also went up, and this reads pretty much like Book of Eclipse, which people are buying out for the next metagame. Change as many monsters on the field as possible to face down defense position, and also people are going to be playing Labyrinth still into the next metagame. It is a viable option even with all the power creep happening, but banlist fears might be a bit around too. I was talking with the Discord just a bit ago, and they were like, when's the winter market coolant, John? Like, what is happening? And I was like, it feels like it already happened, and then things really started to spike the last 2 weeks, and each and every year, the market heats up sooner and sooner, so now we're hoping for some banless fears to actually chill out the market rather than the usual cycle. Varudus also got bought out here to some degree. This is mayhaps one of my most overestimated cards with the QCR pick. I was like, yeah, that's going to be a top of the set. I wouldn't underestimate it, and it's still half under, even though this is going on buyout. That's why you always need to be thinking for yourself. I'm not a financial advisor. I don't know the future of card prices, and I can get it wrong a good chunk of change too. But here this goes, and I want to shout out the listers coming into the sale still being active on TCGPlayer, where you can use my TCGPlayer link in the description down below, costing you nothing extra to support the channel directly for the cards you'd already be buying. Cost TCGPlayer a bit more money. And look at this, these top rated sellers going $8.50, go ahead, take it, versus all these listings at $14 and $50 during the buyout where tons of people have spent more. They could list at $11 or $12 and probably sell through the day, but they're gonna make people feel happy. So seriously, I don't know who these are, but shout outs to them and relisting. And yeah, it's awesome to see people come in during that and go for it. A lot of people are like, oh, the sale, you mean where everything's already up and there's nothing to get? No, sellers come in and relist all day, and I think that is awesome for the people on the grind, and especially when they go that far with it. Primite Lordly Load, Primite, I always go bananas with that name, but seriously, this is going up for Blue Eyes in the future and mixes with oh so many other decks like we've talked about before on Market Watch. The QCR has been gone back in on, and one that I'm scratching my head over a bit, Lo the Prayers of Voiceless Voice has spiked up here. Is it for collection purposes? Is it a call with future ritual decks? I'm not quite sure what you're gonna mix it in with or how you're planning to play it, but $32. Interesting to see that people are going for this right now. I disagree, but let me know if I'm missing something in the comments. But however, looking around OTS Pack 26, I did find a penny stonk you might want to be adding to your cart right now. Chicken Game is under the common for the super rare upgrade out of a tournament pack. That seems like a steal to me personally. You see listers with even 7 of them where you can just check out of your card and not have to worry about getting to that $5. So pretty awesome for a dollar card. Even if it's like in Stampede, you don't spend the most in the world, and check it out. Like, it's a hollow upgrade of a card we waited forever for, but again, the Stampede is around the corner, so some people might not want to even in the penny stonk risk, while others may end up going for it, but I really think it's a solid suggestion. Gamer's Choice has their sale continuing. Remember, they're going to be listing things through today and continuing on, so do check back in, refresh, and look for things around their store. It's really awesome that they push so hard, and I saw a lot of big ticket items end up going. Quarter Century Bonanza, a lot of people shopped this with FOMO the week leading into it, and I even warned y'all, hey, you might want to chill out on this, and now prices mostly came down during Black Friday, so it was kind of this rush or quarter century secret rare stampede towards the cards early, and now many are chilling. Upstart Goblin is one of the only ones continuing to really go strong in lower quantities, which was one of my initial calls. Dark Magician Girl, you can see a lot of these cards populating more quantities even after their early on buyouts and coming back down slowly in price. Now, do I think a lot of these have great long-term potential? Yes, but I also feel like when it comes down to it, people went too hype early, scared of missing deals, and by doing so, missed the deals. Lubellion's another one that has me scratching my head because it's popular, I get it, but the quarter century secret rare now has maximum all-time sales. 250, 265, 270 even, and we can go to the graph and see the old max was towards 240-ish. So when it comes down to it, people are really going in on this right now. This is an awesome chance for a friendly reminder. Be careful when buying your sealed. Ruxin went in on loose packs for one of his segments, and even knowing they're sending to a huge YouTuber, he got scammed on 100 packs. I remember used to, in groups, a lot of people would go, only supers and ultra rares, here's a lot of 100. Those seem to disappear, so people are probably outletting those lots somewhere else, and one of them fell into Ruxin's hands, looks like. So, be careful where you even buy loose boxes from, because people could get the big hits early and sell the rest of the boxes in that case, although clumping would hopefully help with that. You never know. And so also with loose packs themselves, boxes are just so mappable. You're able to go in and, oh, here's the secret, it's on this side, here's the ultra, it's on this side, although they left the ultras in, and just take all of the big hits out of a case. And that's what happened to him. Ash Blossom, specifically the Platinum Secret, is going up very consistently. I think these Platinum Secrets do look very smooth. However, I don't put them at the premium versus like the Collector Rare and Ultimate Rare are going, although a lot of people didn't like this version of the Ulti, they did really like the Collector initially, I recall. So it going for so much more is interesting as a mid-max version. And then you also have Talents doing the same. Now, this is like a triple down buyout that's been happening over the last month, but for mid-max options, it's just extremely interesting, like 2, 4, 5 whole different copies above this Platinum Secret, yet it is now going towards 2022, and I think that actually puts it ahead of the OG Rise of the Duelist first edition. So yeah, Plat Secrets, the different one that only has one printing ever. It is an interesting aspect still because Platinum did end up changing, so they are pretty unique, I suppose. Fiendsmith's Requiem, also for the quarter century secret rare. This is one I missed when talking about all the Fiendsmith buyouts. Just know this did happen pre-Black Friday, $90 to $100. Now you can see the sales did continue into it, but the initial spike happened before where you can see it was already bubbling to 60. The push through was thanks to Black Friday. Orchestrated Return. The ultra rares have gone towards $6, and the secret rares I think are like 8 to 10. So yeah, Orcus getting that second wave of hype. You can see the initial spikes from announcements and that kind of stuff, and now it is starting to go. And some people also do miss, you know, the Eternal format and even have tried to push it as a format. So it could be that double dip buy where it's like, okay, there's still something I can do with this later in case this doesn't pan out and it ends up flopping. A lot of people like to do that with Dragon Rulers, as you might recall, in Dragon Ruler cards that end up becoming good. But Orcust Harp Horror Quarter Century Secret Rare, triple digits is kind of wild to be looking at for the lowest listing, with sales in the triple digits coming through on Black Friday, as this one really bubbled up from 80 all the way to sales at 120. So my final reminder here is with seeing how all that money was spent, and things sometimes come down, other times it's a triple down buyout, you never know the perfect time to buy into the market. You can try to go with your gut, and your gut can mislead you or be very right. And with that, it's always an opportunity cost. If you wait, it could go down, it could go up, and you've got to kind of read the room and do your best with that. So when it comes down to Yu-Gi-Oh cards, there's a lot of times where things go beyond my expectations. This certainly has when we actually look at the different levels and it continuing. So I've been around the block and I still get thrown for a loop. I can understand that after the fact at times, and it still even be a bit ridiculous to me. So don't get too dismayed if you're like one of the people that I'm talking to, like, yo, I told you all not to shop with FOMO. I could have been wrong. It could have been a bloodbath. It could have been triple down buyouts. I just had a feeling this is way too much, way too soon, and people are going to sit back. That was my feeling, and it panned out. It could have gone a different way. I'm not clairvoyant. I don't have this time-traveling info brokers people used to joke about. So when it comes to the market, don't feel too bad when you get it wrong. And when you get it right, you can even be right for the wrong reasons, as I often point out with myself.